Sports Not Matt Johnson here, where we are going to be talking about rising Miami quarterback Tyler Van Dyke with NFL and college football analyst Crissy Froyd. Crissy, Tyler Van Dyke, he's not someone who, was a big name coming to last season. He didn't even have an opportunity to start until opportunity to knock when Derek King unfortunately suffered an injury last year. But he really started to rise. What did he show in relief last year of Derek King that really helped him stand out as a starter and really a bigger name heading into the 22 season?
Well, I think just overall, he showed that he was very ahead of schedule for a first-year starter and a freshman thrown to the wolves. I mean, you don't see a lot of quarterbacks who are that young, who don't have a lot of experience, come in at a program like Miami and be able to have success. And I mean, Miami had its issues across the offense last year, so it's an even bigger task to handle. And in the second half of the season, I mean, he was already popping on the stat sheet, top 10 in yards, touchdowns, big time throws, according to Pro Football Focus. So to me, like, that's really unprecedented just to have that type of success to come in as a first year starter and only a freshman. He's shown really good decision making, good poise in the pocket, really accurate passer with sound lower body mechanics. So I think he's really developed already just to be someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, that hasn't been defined in that starting role. And then the other thing too is when the plays break down, this is a guy who's 6'4" and 225 pounds. He's shown some really good mobility, and I think that becomes a threat too when you've got somebody that big who can move, who's already making those strides as a passer as well.
And you mentioned that ability to make plays out of structure. That's something we saw from Joe Burrow. And do you think that Tyler Van Dyke is a player who could have that Joe Burrow-like rise? Obviously, there's a lot of talk about him making that jump into being a top 2023 draft pick. Do you think we could see that same story unfold for Tyler Van Dyke?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have to see a larger sample size for one. I think people are so quick to watch a quarterback have 5 good games right out of the gate whenever they're put on the field, and they're like, okay, this is the guy. And he did have a lot of success last year, and I do think that there are some similarities between his game and between Joe Burrow's game, especially when it comes to that mobility aspect. And when I talked to Tyler Van Dyke, he said that he doesn't model himself after a lot of people, but that he does like Joe Burrow, and that he has watched a lot of Joe Burrow, and that he does draw some comparisons just between their body type and elements of their game as well. So I think that he's in a good situation to break out. He's shown all the foundational traits needed for a quarterback that breaks out, and he's shown some similarities to a quarterback that's really done it all and played college football at the highest level. So yeah, I think that it's definitely in the cards for him.
And you mentioned speaking to him about the upcoming season, and one of the difficult things, obviously, he made the transition from backup to starter, and now he's picking up a new offense, heading into the Mario Cristobal era. During your conversations with him, what did he have to say about the transition to this new offense and the new era under Mario Cristobal?
Yeah, I think that his responsibilities at the line of scrimmage changed just a little bit. He said some of the things are similar, some of them are different, but I don't think that it just comes down to what's on the field and then all the success that Cristobal has had, which obviously is something to be really excited about and really intrigued about. But he spoke a lot to just the state of the locker room and the culture shift that's come with Mario Cristobal entering Miami. He told me that the discipline, the energy were kind of two of the things that have changed a lot, that people couldn't get away with the same things they had before. So it sounds like Miami is kind of having to mind its business in a different way as a team than they used to in the past. And it sounds to me, based off of what he's told me, that that's making a huge difference just in the mentality of this team and the way that they conduct themselves. And I think that that's going to show up on the field and the success that they have this year.